today we're talking Impact, and I want to go back. I want to go back to a time where, because of Fox, there's 3 shows that Fox put out that really spun my head. To me, they were breaking form on American television. It's not ER, and I know you guys saw the title of this episode. You guys saw the thumbnail. We're talking about HBO Max's The Pitt. But it's not ER. But ER is almost there too. But ER was just a straight up well-made drama. We're talking about breaking format. And when we break format, you do one or two things. You fail or you succeed. But when you succeed, it becomes monumental. And that's where The Pitt is. It's not a streaming show. It's not a TV show. It's not Noah Wyle coming back, playing a doctor. This is cinema. This show is a cinematic experience. We gotta talk about it.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take 1.
Action!
So just the other night, we were having a discussion on Married with Children. I remember watching Married with Children, which was Fox's first show. Their first show was ballsy, instant hit the lexicon, hit the culture. At the time, you really want to say, could a show like that be made today? You would think Married with Children would have movies, successful cartoon series when adult animation really became a part of American life, American entertainment. You thought that franchise would just keep going. It's had multiple spin-offs, 2 or 3 spin-offs. I could look them up, but we're going off the cusp here. I had the comic book, Now Comics. Like, all of these things, Married with Children, blew me away. At night, you would watch Married with Children. You would switch over to local, watch some wild ECW wrestling down in South Philly. And then you would go to E Entertainment and watch Howard Stern, and they also had like a PG Girls Gone Wild. Might have been even just these infomercials. But there was like a stretch. And then you could catch reruns of Jerry Springer. And you were hoping that he would have a porn star on that episode. There was a stretch where you felt like you were doing something your parents shouldn't watch you do. That's what serialized entertainment does to us. It gives us this regular feed, this regular drip. And when it breaks form, it just expands our mind, our consciousness. It's very much like the spice melange in the Dune novels. You should give me points for not saying Dune movies. So we fast forward. And TV has become more of a mainstay. There's more money. There's more actors. There's more talent. There's more big ideas. We go through this miniseries phase where Meteor and Dinotopia, all of these miniseries, and then X-Files comes up. So we're getting these long form movies. We're getting, if something's going to be Monster of the Week and Twilight Zone inspired, X-Files is the perfect staple of that. And all of this is the evolution, not just of TV, but also of Fox. But then we hit Prison Break. Prison Break's the plot of the entire show. And the first time I watched Prison Break, I didn't care if the show continued once they got out of prison because the show struggled. But that initial season where they had to break out of prison, it's a great movie. It really is. It's a TV show. I get it. And then later, we would get Kiefer Sutherland come back, roaring back into the consciousness with a show called 24. 24 episodes. Each episode represents an hour. During this time, ER becomes the biggest show in existence. We get NYPD Blue. But again, not breaking form, but just being a better version of that. Maybe the best of all time. But Prison Break and 24 really blew me away. I just remembered not wanting to miss anything. Some of you might be saying, Pete, how come you're not talking about Lost? Yeah, Lost is there, but Lost was like it was there, but it was also so much of a mystery. It was almost like a different experience. Like 24 and Prison Break, they have this through line, and they incorporate all these different characters and just do a lot of very special things. But yeah, Lost is might be like the third one. But 24 and Prison Break, if the two of them had a baby and spit it out, it would be the Pitt. The Pitt is 15 hours in an ER that's understaffed, with bureaucratic pressure, with Noah Wyle trying to survive. And then around him, everyone is spiraling out of control. Now, you guys know my fiance. She is heavily involved in the medical world. Some might say she is one of these doctors we see on the Pitt. She is drawn to the Pitt. Both of us, we share this show together. We wait for it to drop it drops today at 9 o'clock. Every single Thursday at 9. And we're roughly kind of halfway through the series. And I wanted to, because we're only at, I think tonight is hour 7. And I wanted to bring the show to your attention so maybe we can share more of it. And then when we do the 15th episode wrap up here, we can kind of come full circle. Noah Wyle is one of the most natural actors I've seen. The way how he delivers his lines and his eyes, it's just like you don't see him trying to say these words or make these arguments or be authoritative. It just seems like the camera was just kind of like set up and this is just the guy around the camera doing his work. The entire cast is phenomenal. These are characters I feel like that they belong here. Now, we were just talking about Captain America Brave New World, how the casting took you out of that movie. And I still stand by that. But the casting convinces you it's real. And my only pushback against this show, which so far is perfect. Could you imagine if they just nail it, like 15 perfect episodes? I don't think anything's ever done that. Even you can love any show, but it stumbles from here and there. Even if it's something like Midnight Mass, which my fiance and I rewatched this year around Halloween. Yes, it was busy because we're still doing the 31 Days of Dread at that time, and Midnight Mass kind of you can maybe take 1 or 2 episodes out of that. It's not perfect, but it's also 8 episodes. It's hard to do when it's serialized, but when it's serialized, there's like this weird thing that happens. You get programmed to expect it, to want it, and experiencing everything I am with the Pitt and AKAPAD. You guys know I'm not drawn to things like this because I feel like they're a little bit of a time warp. But when you look forward to a drop, it almost like controls your whole life. It's so interesting. And the payoff seems there when it's good. And what's the plot of the Pitt? They're in an ER. It's hell, and the craziest things happen around them. My pushback on the show, if I'm just going to tell you guys, and then we're going to get out of here, is you are reminded you're watching a show, you're watching entertainment, because as real and honest and truthful as this show is, as perfectly executed as this show is, we're reminded that we're watching a show, meaning this is the craziest night in history. But anyone, it's like too fantastic, because all the wild medical things happen all in the same episode, right? Now, if you discuss this with anyone that works in an ER, they will tell you, yes, like these things happen. And they will tell you stories, or you can watch the show with them and they'll point things out the entire time. But you have to kind of retort and say, and you have to do a good follow-up. You have to ask, but do they all happen in the same night? And then there you'll get a confession. But we're here to be entertained, and the Pit is doing that. This is, I cannot think of the last time I watched anything that was serialized that was this thrilling. You have to put the show on your schedule. You have to catch up, and let's march towards episode 15 together.
Okay, that's a wrap.